Hello everyone, I'm so happy to do this episode and finally get back into this game. We are back in Sweet Transit, baby. For you guys that maybe are new to the channel, so this is the game that I kind of had my first little growth spur of. I figured as we hit 200 subscribers here, we'll start up another series. I was gonna wait for the next update, but we might as well just get going. We need a little bit more Sweet Transit in our life anyway, so I have started up a small map. Previously we played on one of the smaller maps that I played on. 15 by 15 or 20 by 20 I think it was. So have a look at that playthrough if you are interested. This map is the biggest map that you can play on. Or at least the biggest map that I'm able to create. I think you can probably mod in even bigger maps. But eventually the game struggles so badly that you won't be able to play on it anyway, and I don't think we will ever utilize all of this map at any point. I'm fairly certain that's the case. We're starting over here, down in the, what you want to call it, bottom corner, more or less, up against this body of water that we have in the middle of the map, which I thought looked kind of interesting, so that should be fun. We have our first city right here, Philadelphia. And then down to the southwest over here, we have our warehouse. So it's a bit further away, but it's even further if we want to go to, for example, coal. We have a bunch of coal down here. This map is full of stuff. And here we have a horrendous mixture of clay deposits as well as iron deposits. So late game is going to be really, really interesting, but we'll see. This episode we're just gonna start up, see how far we can make it. So, first off, we have a city here. If you haven't played Sweet Transit before, a big part of Sweet Transit is to progress through the progression system that Sweet Transit has. If I can remember how to open that, I would show you. So here we have the progression system. Actually, I had to go through the settings just to remind myself of all of the hotkeys. We've been playing a lot of different games on the channel right now, so it's kind of hard to remember all of the hotkeys at one time. But yes, here we have the progression system. So the first thing we need to do is plunk down a warehouse. Thereafter, we need to get a village hall built. And once we have built that, we will be able to actually continue and get our first few laborers and so on. So the plan is to make it through all of this, and then I think I'm gonna continue with this series and try to kind of push it as far as we can. It would be really cool to kind of cover the majority of this map. I'm also gonna try to build our cities as close to each other as possible, and I'm not gonna expand cities at all. They're gonna be more like city complexes, more than actual cities. So that should be pretty interesting, and that way we can have actual people moving between cities as well in a quite different way, I think. I think it's gonna be quite interesting. So we have Philadelphia here. A big part of all this is, as I said, to follow what we need to do. So we built a warehouse, we built a village hall. You can also see here what we actually get when we are building something. So when we built the village hall, we got access, of course, to everything that's in the city. Once we got to the next population limit, so reach population of laborers, 0 out of 100. Of course, laborers need somewhere to live. So we're gonna start by plonking down a few houses for them to live in. I think we will start by building 10 cities. And now we can see that they are complaining that they don't have a road. So all of our citizens need a road. And that road needs to go to the Philadelphia station itself. And I just realized that I probably did this the wrong way. So we're going to move these over on the other side of all this instead. Can keep the road here though. And as we continue with this game, you're gonna see that this game is absolutely gorgeous. It has such a lovely art style, you'll be amazed. So I think I'm just gonna make like something like that, and then we're gonna continue with these out here eventually as well. Not right now though. So, if we now get our game rolling, you'll see that eventually we'll have laborers moving in. Should be seeing laborers. Yes, there we have 10 people. So in each of these houses we can hold 5. So technically by doing this we should be able to hold 50 people. And now that we reached 20 laborers, we get our water tower. So everyone, of course, needs water. So our objective is to give them water. That also gives a few people a little bit of work. So 5 people of them now can actually work as well. Building the water tower gives us the fishing dock. We can build it there, but not... Oh, it's a limit. They've changed that. Previously you were able, as long as you could build on the edge, you would be able to reach everywhere. I guess we're gonna have to rethink this a little bit then. Okay, so we're gonna go like this to allow ourselves to have as much fish as possible. That should be pretty good. And then we can just delete you and put you here instead. Something like that. So that's five fishermen. That's more than plenty for what we need right now, but we can see already that fishes are coming in. We are currently producing 56 and we are only consuming 10 of them. So everything is good there, and we can also see that our citizens actually require fish as well. So once they get fish, they will increase the population of each of the labor houses. So they will have 15 people in each house, and they will also pay us a little bit more in taxes. And I'm a ruthless lord, so I'll gladly take extra taxes. That is, without a doubt, something that we're gonna accept. A few other things that they've changed. So they have adjusted the layout for this. So now everything is in one scroll instead of you having to click on the pop-ups here to be able to build stuff. So that's nice. I think in general the developers are doing a lot of good stuff. So now we have a coal mine as well as our train depots. So now we need to build our train depot. I think I want to build a train depot like in between the warehouse and our city. So if we look at maybe like here, that could be pretty good. We want to have a train depot, which we should have right here. Like that. And that's our train depot. That gives us access to our first few trains. It's interesting. It actually tells us to build coal first, but I'm gonna bring this guy over to our warehouse first. So if we hit my warehouse, and then we can build walkways all the way out to there. We can build a station there. Okay, so we have our first route here. I have all plans to kind of think big with this. I want to make sure that we can expand fairly easily. In the last few kind of episodes that we've been doing, I don't want to say that we've built small, but we built smaller. So this time I am preparing to have dual tracks everywhere, and I'm also preparing to be able to have double or have some sort of space in between them as well. So if we needed to, for example, we could build a bridge somewhere to have them go. Of course, the wooden bridges are not able to do that with, but with a stone bridge, for example, we could have this guy sneak under a stone bridge over here, or have these kind of do this, go inside and then go through a bridge like that. But that's in the future. That's not something we're gonna do right now. What we have now is we have our Philadelphia station. I decided to build it in the middle of the town. I figured that was quite interesting, actually. Once we have... let's see, we can't really do it there, but we can do it here, I think. So we're gonna build some laborers that will go over here eventually. But we can't do it until we have the bridges. So we need a bit more workers before we can do anything else. So let's set up a few more of these. How is our water doing when it comes to these? That's fine. So we can continue a little bit more here. No, we can't, because we don't have the wood. That should be easily enough to fix. So we have 4 tracks here. That's not super much, but I think it's enough that we should be able to deal with the main parts here. And we have our route down to the warehouse. Everything that I'm building right now is one way when it goes into a station. So we will not have any two-way stations at all, and these are going to eventually have requirement signals on them to make sure that no other train goes through this section and blocks up the depot for some reason. I think that should be pretty good. And we still need coal. And honestly, we kind of need to go down here to be able to obtain any coal at all. Do we want to build a distribution center to do that? Probably do, because this distribution centers allows us to have multiple coal guys on one. So if we connect all of these, we will not need that much more coal in a very long time. I'm probably not even gonna build all of the coal that we have right here. So that guy, and then we're gonna have this guy connected as well. I'm just gonna get like a few of these built. 2 of those built, and then we're gonna have a road leading out probably here somewhere. Yeah, that'll be good. And then we need a station here. I think I actually do have some previous stations. So we have this one-way station from my previous playthrough. I think it should be available on the workshop still, all of my blueprints. But this is more or less a very simple blueprint. It just has a one-way intake, allowing everyone to go into the station. This could be updated because they have actually changed the game and the functionality right now, so you can do this again. That was not possible before, and it actually splits it correctly. So let's do this. We'll copy that. And then we hope the game doesn't crash when we did that. Nope. Just freezing a little bit. So we want to delete those. And then we just put in these new ones here. They're a little bit more space efficient than the other ones. Should be, at least. Yeah. Because the previous ones, you can see we actually have a... Actually, I do have them correct here, so I didn't have them correct on this side. That's so weird. Okay. All right then. That is what it is. So this is our coal mine, first coal mine. We need, of course, for our coal mines to produce, they need workers. So that is the laborers that we have up in Philadelphia over here, 255 of them at the moment. They need to get down to our coal mines. I'm not gonna act like you wouldn't know how to do that. Of course, we're gonna bring them there with trains. No questions about it. Where do we have anything that we will run into? I think we probably want to get up to here. Okay, so we finally have our setup as well for the coal. So now we can finally start to bring people over to the coal setup here. I said I might be using a one lane setup here, but it is so inconvenient to deal with, where you just have to have trains standing around. It's easier to just literally wait for you to have the money. As long as you are positive in value or wealth in this game, you don't really have to worry about wealth going down. There is nothing really impacting your wealth as long as you don't have a deadlock somewhere. And since I don't even have any trains and still making money, there is no way that I can stop making money. Which is kinda nice. So what we're gonna do is we are going to set up some trains here. So we're gonna do this. I did delete these just to connect the tracks. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to get to the fish. So until we have enough laborers so that we can actually build bridges here, we're gonna have to disconnect and connect these a few times. That should be fine. I don't think that's gonna matter too much. We'll do it that way. We will... I just hope it can span 3, but I think so. I think it should be able to span 3 of them. That should be fine. Okay, what else do we want to do here? We need a train, so we can do that 2 ways. We can build a train just by going to the depot and clicking on it, and then clicking on this plus sign. That will open up the train editor or train info panel, and we can add whatever items we need. Another way to do it is from anywhere on the map. You can hit Ctrl T and it opens up the same screen as you had in the depot. And then you can, of course, add trains just as normal. So we need a locomotive, of course. This is going to be a really far way to go. You generally don't want to have a train travel this far in the beginning of the game, but I think I know enough that I should be able to deal with it. And then we have the SD10 wagon. I'm gonna go with, I think, 2 of them. And then we are going to need a route. So press Ctrl R to open route UI, it says. So we'll do that. And here we have route number 1. This one is going to be Philly to coal. And it's going to be laborers. Laborers, that's how it's spelled, right? Laborers. I think I made it a little bit French here. Laborers. Yes, not native speaking people. I have a standard to make all of my laborers blue train. And that's what we are going to continue with in this episode. And then they are going to go from Philadelphia. They're going to go all the way down to the coal mine. And then they're going to go back. And I want them to have the condition to wait in Philadelphia until you are full of rested passengers. And then you are going to wait for fully tired passengers when they get to the coal mine. And then we remove the until done option, so they don't leave when they have already delivered a few people. And now that we have this route set up, we can see the way that it intends to go. So as we can see that this looks fine. This is not great, but we can't fix this right now. It's going to have to be allowed to do that for now. In the future, we're going to set up requirement signals here that will make no one be allowed to go here unless they go to the train depot. And then here we have a small issue as well. So what we want them to do is, of course, to go directly down to here instead. So we're gonna delete you and we're gonna have these guys do that instead. And if we look at now, you can see that they are actually taking a left-hand turn instead of going up here and around. And then they will continue down here into our coal station, pick up passengers and head back home to Philadelphia. Hopefully they have enough fuel for that. We might have to put on even one more coal tender here, but there's really only one way to find that out, so that is what we are going to try to do. So Philadelphia to coal, laborers, and let's see, so swap workers. What's important here is to select the correct one. So if you're doing cargo, you need to use load and unload. Usually the game is smart enough to identify items itself, but sometimes if you have both cargo as well as workers on a spot, that could be a little bit troublesome, especially with travelers later on in the game. So yeah, let's send him out. And there we have our first train. First few trains are very slow. This guy will be maxing out at 35 kilometers an hour, or even 30 actually, I can see now. So if you're going any faster than 30 kilometers an hour, this train cannot do it. So that's why I usually feel like I want to kind of speed up time a little bit when you're playing with these. So we are going to make another copy of him. Just so that we can have two trains going back and forth. Why did you not pick anything up? Why did you not pick anything up? Did we do this incorrectly anyway? Rested at 100%. Ah, right. The game is very literal. If you have ever played around with any sort of programming, you'll find this very common. So this guy is set up to make sure that all the people that are on the train are either rested or unrested. That is what the route says. So as long as we have 100% of the people on the train being rested, it will leave from Philadelphia. And if we have 100% of the people on the train being unrested, that means that it will leave from the coal mine. The thing you kinda don't really intuitively understand here is that if you just leave it like that, he will actually leave as soon as he gets to Philadelphia, because even if there is no person on the train, technically every person that's on the train, since there is none, is rested. So to alleviate that, we need to make sure that we go full passenger load and full passenger load. This will make sure that he will always wait for the train to be full and everyone to be rested, and he will wait for the train to be full and everyone to be tired before he leaves from each station. So we'll skip that train and we will go back to this guy. This is an identical to the previous one, so he will not be any difference to what we just dealt with, but he will actually pick up some workers. So he will pick up 80 workers and then he will head over to the coal mine. I guess we can tell this guy to just head back to Philadelphia. That way he will make a U-turn here and then he will head back over to Philadelphia to pick up more people. So right here you can actually select yourself. If you have multiple options where they can go, you can tell them to skip everything and just go back to a station that you already have since earlier. Up left corner here we can actually see our fuel as well. So you can see that we are actually running quite low on fuel with this train. Luckily we need to take into account that it actually traveled this path as well. So we could technically consider it to have been traveling from here. And as long as we can make it down to the coal mine without too little fuel left, we should be okay. So we just ran out and it's about that length left. And I think that actually matches quite well with this. So we should be able to reach all the way around here. We're gonna need a train that delivers the coal as well, right? So we're gonna set up another ST10. We're gonna get a coal tender on there. And we're going to use gondolas to deliver the coal itself. And I think I'm actually gonna go with 3 gondolas. That might be a little bit overkill, but I still think that that's going to be worth it. And this is going to be the other way around. So it's gonna be Philadelphia to coal to Philadelphia, and then it's going to be a delivery. So Philadelphia, we want it now to unload, and you can drag and drop these, so you can change the order of it. It doesn't really matter when you have 2 of them, other than the fact that when we push a train out on a new route, the train will start with the number 1. So for us, we want it to go directly to the coal mine to load up on items, and then we wanted to go back to Philadelphia to deliver those. And we wanted to wait for full cargo, and we wanted to, in Philadelphia, wait for empty cargo. This will make sure that he always leaves when he's full, and he always leaves when he's empty from Philadelphia. And of course, this guy we can just make black. I think that makes all the sense in the world. There we go. So we'll make him black. And then we decide to put him on here. We can see that in red it says inactive. That's because there is no train on that route. So if we add him to that route, we will see that both of our routes are now considered as active. Okay, so we're producing coal. That means that we have unlocked our sawmill and can start producing tree as well. Or, I guess tree, wood. And then we have this guy. So he's going back with a full load of tired workers. When you have this far in between 2 different regions, you can actually have a lot of trains going back and forth without too much of an issue. If you're wondering what is, it's kind of jarring. So you can actually turn around the map a little bit, but it's only from 4 different camera angles. So it kind of snaps between them. So I understand that that's a little bit jarring. So I'm gonna try to avoid that as much as possible. So now you can see that this guy is actually waiting for passengers. Even though everyone is considered rested, even though there's only 5 people on the train, he will wait until all of the wagons are full before he leaves. And what do we see down here? Well, this guy is coming in. He is currently just ran out of fuel, and this guy is on his way in to pick up more coal as well. So there we go. He will head out. This guy will wait for passengers to fill up. It looks like they are still working. So as you can see, the current rest is 93%. Once he is full, we will see him actually head out as well. And hopefully this guy should at that point make its way down there so we can have more rested people available as well. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is to start building out some wood. So wood, of course, is the second industry that we have available to us. Wood cannot be built anywhere. We need to build wood somewhere where we have a... Can you build wood on this? You can, okay. So you need to build wood on something that's not desert. So this part you can't actually build on because desert doesn't allow you to build wood production. But I think we are going to build our wood production here. This is big, green and lush. That should be pretty good for wood production. But that's going to be in the next episode, I think. I just kind of wanted to test the water a little bit. Get your guys' input as well on this. And just kind of celebrate 200 subscribers. This is super cool. Thank you so very much, everyone, for supporting me and watching the videos and all of that stuff. It is fantastic to see the support that the channel has had lately. Feels very, very, very good. Once we have the wood, we will be able to expand our city in the next episode as well. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I really do appreciate you being here today. If you're hyped up about Sweet Transit and seeing it back on the channel again, let me know in the comments down below, man. I would love to hear from you guys. Maybe you have some suggestions, what you want to see. Maybe you have some questions, something that you're wondering about when it comes to this game, or how the game itself works, or whatever it is that you have on your mind. I'll be happy to explain and look into all the kind of different things that we are doing. I think we can do a lot of cool stuff. This is a really big map, and the option for like massive trains and large cities and stuff is definitely a thing. How is this going? So you're actually at 50% and you're quite close already to the coal mine. So I think from a coal perspective, we're doing all right. I don't think we need to worry that much about that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. In the next episode, I'll see you there, of course. Bye bye, everyone.